Let's get to the Cowboys to lead it off here, because we have not seen Dak Prescott on a football field for real since week number 1 when he injured that thumb against the Buccaneers. Cooper Rush has been the guy since then. This is Dak earlier today, running out of the building at the Star and onto the field. He seemingly, I say seemingly, is ready to go.
You know, number one, his leadership ability, personality is top notch, off the charts. So I mean, that energy definitely has been felt without a doubt. So I mean, and that's, anybody that knows Dak or has been a teammate of his, understands the energy that he brings, each and every day. So that's definitely been evident.
Brings energy each and every day, and hopefully brings energy on Sunday against the Lions. Jane Slater there live with the Cowboys. Brian Baldinger with us as well. Hello to you both. We saw Dak running out of the building, Jane, football in hand. We see anything else?
That video that you just saw, Andrew, is the extent of what we saw. Let me peel the curtain back for you a little bit. The open portion available to the media is roughly 30 minutes long, and we waited around because we wanted to see Dak. Thursday was a big day for him. Yesterday was a walkthrough. It was our understanding, threw about 40 balls, so he was on a pitch count. Mike McCarthy said he would have thrown over 100 if they had let him. And then today was the big day. In other words, he was going to get most of the reps with the ones, but we were not privy to that yet again. Last week they played with us a little bit. He was only throwing with that left hand, and then he was listed as questionable ahead of the Eagles game and looked sharp out there, listening to his teammates. The ball has got pop and zip. So the big thing right now, you heard Mike McCarthy talk about it in our last hour. The medical clearance is one thing, but they've really been slow playing the injuries around here. In other words, when you come back from an injury, they want to make sure you don't go back on the injured list. What stands out for us right now, at least what we saw today, was that he had little limitation on that thumb. In other words, I didn't see that he had a brace on there, which is what we had saw before. It was just lightly bandaged. He was high-fiving the teammates. He was gripping Ezekiel Elliott with a little bit of a handshake there. So the expectation and what we anticipate is that he is going to play on Sunday. I just can't really tell you how he looks, and neither can any other media members. So we'll have to rely on what we're hearing from Mike McCarthy and, of course, his teammates.
You know, Jane, when I watched the Cowboys without Dak, up until last week's loss to Philadelphia, they had really done two things, I think, that they should do with Dak when he comes back this weekend, is emphasize the run and commit to it, and they've been good at it. And then secondly, they protected Cooper Rush very well. Prior to last week, he was sacked 3 times in 4 games, and it was max protection. It was play action. They did a lot of things to protect Cooper Rush, and I feel like they should take a big page of that with Dak this week. Like, I know he can scan the field and he can go through progressions and he's very good at all that. But I don't think that should be the game plan. I think they should stick with what worked with Cooper and just, Dak will just be more accurate and get the ball out a little bit faster and all those things. Half-field reads. I think that would be really good to kind of break Dak in after this absence over the last 6 weeks.
And it would also be good if he has all his weapons to throw to, whether it's CeeDee Lamb or Dalton Schultz. They're dealing with injuries as well. Jane, what's their story?
Yeah, Dalton Schultz has been dealing with a knee situation, so today was supposed to be a big day of practice for him, see how he feels. But look, if they don't have Dalton Schultz, they've really been benefiting from the play of their 2 rookie tight ends, both Peyton Hendershot and Jake Ferguson. So we'll see what that looks like. But we've seen in the past, the reason why he got that franchise tag was because he was a bit of a security blanket for Dak. Just as Cooper Rush and Noah Brown have this amazing chemistry, so too do Dalton and Dak. As for CeeDee Lamb, he tweaked his hip a little bit in practice. But it sounds like he's expected to play on Sunday. They're just being a little careful with him. But to Baldy's point, he should have a full complement of weapons this week. I think the key for him, though, and he's even talked about this, being on the sidelines, the game has slowed down a little bit for him. I think it's interesting, both he and Aaron Rodgers are talking about this. Simplify the offense. Go back to the basics. What worked for Dak Prescott and his team in the past? Run the ball. It wasn't always easy to do that when you looked at that offensive line, but the offensive line is communicating really well. I think these guys are really gelling together, and this is a different offense than what we saw in week 1. I just think the rhythm and timing for Dak is going to be the big thing, and it should help. And I'm not saying this is a trap game because we've talked to Mike McCarthy about this. It should help that this is a team like the Detroit Lions who are 1-4 and have a host of injuries heading into this game, and it's a home game.
You know, Jay, the one thing about Dalton Schultz being out of the lineup for a couple of games is you saw the rookie tight ends. I mean, This Jake Ferguson is an all-around tight end. I mean, he can really block at the point. Caught a touchdown pass last week, and that when they were trying to make that surge and come back in the fourth quarter. Peyton Hendershot has been excellent when they've asked him to block in his role as a limited receiver, but he's a big target, big, huge target. Like, both those guys have been impressive, and they've been a big part of the run game, and I think both of them can pick it up in the passing game too. So whether Dalton goes or not, I think the Cowboys are in pretty good shape at that position.
As they face the Lions here, and Mike McCarthy admitted, as Jane kind of mentioned there, that this is an unfamiliar opponent, so there's a lot going on, trying to get Dak back, the rhythm back in the offense, trying to find a foothold play calling against a team they do not see very often.